Hey guys, welcome to the stream. This is Arriagada coming to you live from Roseau River, Anishinabe First Nation. We're here today at the GINEW School Gymnasium in GINEW, Manitoba, and we're here for a general community meeting with Chief Gary Roberts, Roseau River, Anishinabe First Nation councillors, and guest speakers. We're already into the process, so we're going to get this going right away. This is the agenda for today. We're going to talk more about that agenda right away, but I'm just showing it here for you guys to see it.
We're going through that same process. So it's under the specific claims policy. And there's a process that has to be followed under that policy. Of course, you got to start with your historical research. Once we get the historical research done, then we do a claim submission. It has to be approved by the chief and council. Once the chief and council approve the claim submission, it gets submitted to the specific claims branch for processing. The first thing that happens when the specific claims branch gets the submission is they have a 6-month period to review it to make sure that the claim meets what they refer to as minimum standards. So these are standards that are set by Canada for every claim submission they have to meet. And assuming they do, then the claim gets filed on that particular date that they deem the claim to be have met the minimum standards. After that date, then Canada has a period of 3 years to review the claim submission and indicate to the First Nation whether they're prepared to accept the claim for negotiation or not. If they accept the claim for negotiation, well, then we enter into negotiations and hopefully come to a settlement and conclude the claim. If the claim is not accepted for negotiation, then there's a process that you can follow to go to the specific claims tribunal and have basically a court hearing held to deal with whether their claim should be acceptable and a settlement or not. So every specific claims follows the same process. Now, Adam and I are working with Roseau on 4 specific claims, and I'm going to go through each one of those briefly with you today. There's the treaty agricultural benefits, cows and plows, that is commonly referred to. There's the missed treaty payments claim that is being worked on. There's a land expansion claim that's being worked on, and a claim that I'm pretty excited about, and we'll go through it. And then there's the trust account mismanagement claim, and I'll talk about that one as well. So the treaty agricultural benefits claim, this one relates to the benefits that should have been provided under Treaty Number 1 to Roseau, the farm tools, the animals, all of those kinds of things that should have been provided. We're not talking about the land. We're talking about the articles that should have been provided. So the historical research has been done. It's supported a claim, and the claim has been prepared. The research was done in August of 2022. It was completed. We ran into a bit of a problem. It took longer to get the research done because of COVID and many of the government offices being closed. So Joan Holmes and Associates, who was retained to do the research, it took longer to get done, but it's been done. The claim submission has been prepared. It was approved by the Chief and Council. It was submitted to Canada on October 10th, 2023, so 2 years ago. Canada did their initial review. They filed the claim. It ended up being officially filed on April 10th, 2024. That then gives Canada until April 10th, 2027 to complete their review and determine whether the claim will be accepted for negotiation or not. Now, in all likelihood, it's going to be accepted for negotiation. You've all heard what's been going on in other areas in Canada about these settlements. And the government has been settling these types of claims. They started in Treaty 8. They then moved to Treaty 4, 5, and 6. And they'll continue to go on and complete these settlements. Now, we ran into a bit of a snag, and this is going to cause some headaches for you guys. And the headaches are just time. Right now, with the current economic environment in Canada, the government has just halted negotiations of cows and plows claims. Okay, so you still got a year, a little bit over a year to go, almost a year and a half to go before Canada has to give you an answer anyways. So hopefully that process will clear itself up. But it'll happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. It's not going to happen for a while. Don't expect you're going to get some payment out of cows and plows in the next month or two or even 2 years. It could take longer than that. Okay. I know that's not great news, but that's just the reality of the situation. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can jump up and down. You can holler and scream. And in fact, that happens all the time. I've talked to the chief and council about it. You know, they just have to make some noise with the minister and hopefully get it forward. As far as I know right now, there has not been one Treaty 1 First Nation who has settled their cows and plows yet. Okay. The next claim that we're working on, we refer to as the missed treaty payments claim. So under the treaty number 1, you guys were entitled on the signing of treaty to a gratuity payment of $3 per individual. In addition, you were entitled to an annuity payment, annual payment of that. Well, it was originally set at $3, but then it was increased to $5. And that should have been happening every year. Now, the one thing that this claim does not do is address that $5, the increase in that $5. You all probably heard about the claim that happened in Ontario, the Robertson Huron Treaty area, where the First Nations in that area took the government to court on this $5, claiming that it should have increased every year, and it should not just be $5. That is a claim, and that's going to happen. Every treaty, First Nation, will have a claim. That's going to take longer to conclude. This claim that I'm talking about, the missed treaty payments, does not address that. That is being addressed in the Treaty 1 class action suit that has been spearheaded by Zungade Nelson and that Roseau River has signed on to. So that is going through the court process. And it might be a good thing because that may happen quicker because of going through the court process. Canada is not in control of the court process. There's time frames they have to follow. They can't just simply ignore it. And so hopefully that happens a little quicker. But the claim that I'm working on and Adam is working on just deals with payments that were missed. So when we went to do research on the treaty annuity payments, we found out that many payments were just missed for whatever reason. Either some policy of the government or people just didn't show up at the time that the payment was being made. So there's research was done, and a claim is being worked on, and we're almost done, and it'll be presented to the council very shortly, hopefully before Christmas. And it's not going to be a big claim. I mean, we're not talking tens of millions of dollars. It's likely going to be a smaller type claim, but nonetheless, it'll be some funds for the First Nation. You've got some of the details in the presentation that you can go through and see. Once we do get that claim submission prepared and it's approved by the council, then it'll get submitted to Canada and it goes through that specific claims process. You will likely be the first First Nation to make such a claim. Every First Nation is going to have a similar claim, but I'm not aware of one yet having been submitted on that issue, so you likely will be the first one. The next claim that we're working on, and this is the one that I'm really, I'm going to say excited, but I am excited about it. It's called the land expansion claim. When I was working, going back on the 1903 surrender, you know, through the work I was doing and the research that I saw, there was this ability, I think, to make a claim for increased land base. We're not talking about a treaty land entitlement claim. You guys already settled that. This is going beyond treaty land entitlement. So when the Treaty 1 was being negotiated, there was an oral promise made by the representatives of Canada that when your population grew, you should have been entitled to more land. And you were the first number treaty. And so this was a fluid thing that was going on. You already know you got less land than under some of the treaties, Treaty 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on. You know, you got 32 acres per person and they were getting 128 acres per person, which is a big difference, okay? But this promise, I think, is an enforceable promise. And that we can make a claim, you can make a claim to Canada to say, look, our population is way beyond what we've been given in land. We need to have that increased amount of land provided, and it should be an ongoing rate. This should not just be a one-off. It should be an ongoing rate. As you guys continue to grow in terms of your population and you get the children born, they should be entitled to their land as well, okay? So that's why I'm excited, because I think that you are unique. This promise was only made to Treaty 1 and Treaty 2. In fact, it was only made during the Treaty 1 negotiations. So only that promise was only made to those First Nations that were part of Treaty 1. And I think that in the end, hopefully, time will tell, government's going to fight you on this. I know they're going to fight you on this. You're going to be forced to go into the specific claims tribunal to resolve it. But in the end, hopefully we can be successful. And I think this is not a small claim. This is a huge claim. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, from what I know. So that part of it is kind of exciting. We're close. We got the research done. There's an initial draft of a claim submission prepared. Again, it should be done fairly shortly, hopefully again by Christmas, and presented to the Chief and Council for their consideration and hopeful approval, and then we can have it submitted. So that one I like. And I think that it's something that you got to look forward to, but it's going to take a number of years. I could say probably right now 5 to 10 years sitting here today, okay? The last one that we're working on, Adam and I are working on with Roseau, is called the Trust Accounts Mismanagement Claim. So you all know that every First Nation in Canada has what is referred to as a capital account and a revenue account. And these accounts go way back into the 1800s. In fact, in your case, the first account that was opened for Roseau was in 1883. And then that became the capital account, and then the revenue account was opened in 1889. Now, I give myself a pat on the back for these types of claims because I'm the only one in Canada that has settled this kind of claim. It was my idea. I went to a First Nation that I worked for in Saskatchewan called Kakawistahau, and I said to the Chief and Council, I think you have a claim here. And they said, okay, Stephen, we support you, and they let me go, and they not only did they support me in terms of getting the work done, but financially. They put their money where their mouth was. We went through the process and we ended up settling the claim. And now every First Nation in Canada has the same claim. It's just a matter of the extent of the claim. Oh, closer? Okay, thank you. Okay. So these accounts that each First Nation has, money went into these accounts. And money was spent out of these accounts. So what we've done in the past or with other First Nations is we track all the money that went into the accounts, into the capital account, into the interest account, and then we track every expenditure of that money that came out of each of these accounts. Now, this claim has a number of aspects to it. The first one is the Indian Act. The Indian Act said that the money that went into these accounts could only be used for certain purposes. It also said that there had to have been certain authorization given before the money could be spent. In some cases, it was governor and council approval. In some cases, it was band council approval. And in some cases, it was both governor and council approval and band council approval. In later years, beginning particularly in 1951 and onward, it was some of the expenditures could be made just with the minister approval. So what we found through the research is that money was spent on things that it couldn't be spent on. You know, we found things like, in fact, in one case, we found a car being bought for the Indian agent. Well, that wasn't allowed under the Indian Act. We found in many cases, in fact, in many cases, no authorization was given at all, whether it was band consent or governor and council consent. It was just spent by the department willy-nilly on things that they thought was appropriate. The second part of the claim deals with the 1907 surrender sale proceeds. So when we were negotiating the 1903 surrender settlement claim, the government of Canada says, well, you received money. And that's true, you did. You received probably around, I think it was $100 and some thousand over the years from the sale of the land. And the government says, well, we're going to deduct that from what you would otherwise be entitled to. And that's typical. You weren't being treated any different than any other First Nation that had a surrender claim. But then we said to Canada, okay, but we're going to challenge how you use that money in a separate claim. And Canada said, okay. And if you go back to your settlement agreement, that is allowed, this kind of claim is allowed under that settlement agreement because we specifically excluded it from the release and indemnity provisions. What we know is what the surrender document said. The surrender document said you sell the land, you get the proceeds, you hold them in trust for us, and you can use the money in this way. And there was only three things that they could use the money on. The first one was this land management fund. They took a percentage to pay for their administration of the sale of the land. In the end, that money came back to you anyway, so it didn't really matter. The second one was up to 10% to be paid to the members, to the First Nation for supplies and goods and things like this, okay? And then the third thing was to purchase some land at the Rapids for the reserve there. The rest of the money after that was supposed to stay and be held for you in trust by Canada and be invested for you. But what happened over the years, Canada spent that money on whatever. And they should have not have done that. That money should still be there today. that $100,000 should still be in an account for your benefit. In fact, it should be more than 100,000 because it should have been increasing in value as they were investing in. But it's gone now, okay? So we make the claim for those funds to be returned. And then the third thing that we're claiming is you guys were forced to use your own money for relief and agricultural benefits type expenditures. In many cases, other First Nations who didn't have money were provided these benefits. You know, they were given relief and rations and whatnot. You weren't. In many cases, you were forced to use your money to pay for those. And that's just in the claim we're making, that's just a breach of fiduciary obligation by Canada. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the claims that we're working on for Roseau. The initial research on the trust account mismanagement claim was done a while ago, but as we were going through preparing the claim submission, we found that we needed to have Joan Holmes and Associates do further research. And so we're just going back through that process with them. And once we get that research done, then we can finalize the claim submission, have it presented to the Chief and Counsel for their consideration and hopefully approval, and have it submitted. That one will settle. It's just a matter of how much and when, okay? So is there any questions? I know that's a lot to go through in a very short period of time. Yes?
Wait. So if anybody has any questions, they'll have to come up and the live feed needs to hear your questions. For 1 moment.
No, they can. Oh, okay.
I just wanted to request from this gentleman who's talking about the four specific claims that he's processing at this time, if he could provide a detailed summary for all of us so that we understand where this claim is going. Talking about it is nice,
Yeah.
but we need, we're visual people and we need documentation.
So, which one? There it is. Okay. No problem. In fact, we've been doing that we get requests from time to time from the council to prepare a summary. And I know if you go online on the Roseau webpage, you will see the summaries that are there. If it's not detailed enough for you and you want more detail, just ask the Chief and Counsel, and that can come back to us and we can do that for you. Okay, not a problem.
Any more questions? Just raise your hands if you have any questions. It's quiet.
I'd like to successful lawyer in regard to claims. We have had him helping us for quite some time. He came all the way from Saskatoon, right?
Yep.
And for today, come and present to the people regarding where we're at. And there's a lot of information, I know that people get lost in this. Stephen is a fantastic lawyer, And the other thing that is very important for people to understand, when he talks about the research, Joan Holmes and Associates, just take anybody's claims. They are, even it's been able to bring Joan Holmes and Associates to us, and they've done some tremendous research. Government is very scared whenever Jones and Associates does a complete research document. But they're not, they don't just skimp on things. They go right directly into Ottawa. They go into all of the documents, and by the time they finish a report, Canada's already backing away and saying, okay, that's why we're very, very lucky that Stephen is been involved with us, and we are going to get there. I know it's confusing. I know there's lots of claims that he's talking about. There is no PowerPoint up there for you to follow. But the thing is that we got some handouts, but I think, can we get a hand for Stephen Philippow for coming all the way down here and talking to us? This guy is, he is going to settle some of these things, and he's talking a little bit about, he doesn't want to really say the numbers, but he doesn't want to do that because he's a lawyer. He doesn't want to make promises. But I can tell you that what he's talking about is really literally going to mean hundreds of millions of dollars for Roseau River. And I think for me, I look at these numbers and I don't see, it's not unrealistic to see $400 million coming to Roseau River as a result of the work that these guys are doing. So give them a big hand. Igwich.
Thanks very much, Terry and everybody. Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk about numbers. He can talk about numbers. I'm not going to talk about numbers. I can just tell you the claims we're working on and where we're at. And all I can say is this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And I wish I could tell you exactly when, but I can't. Okay. And this comes up with every First Nation that I work with. I say the same thing to them. You just have to be patient, and one day it'll be there. And I know that doesn't give you a lot of comfort sitting here today and leaving today, but eventually it's going to come. Okay. Any other questions? Guess not. Okay.
So I just want to say, you have the right once the claim comes forward, right, Stephen? So it's not, people were asking us to, when are we going to put the cows and plows claim in? Well, we didn't. Chief and Council didn't. Because of you guys saying you wanted us to do it. We did it. Okay, it's on the website. You can go download any document on there. He gave us an update for this meeting. It's on there, rrafn.com. And also, you have a right once the claim comes in and we're ready to go to court, correct? Or settlement, then you have a right to say yes or no. There will be a voting to say yes or no. So I just wanted you guys to know that. Miigwech. Right? Good, yeah. Round of applause for Stephen Philippow.
We were engaged to do the audit for Roseau River and do an audit on the financial statements. There is a PowerPoint presentation, which, as we've talked about, there's no projector here today, but there was a handout handed out to everyone. So we'll just go through that briefly. And then if you have any questions at the end, certainly you can jump up and ask, or you can forward them through Chief and Council as well. Just quickly, Baker Tilly is a chartered accounting firm in Manitoba. We have offices in Winnipeg, DePaul, Flin Flon, and Thompson. We do a lot of work in the First Nation communities. We deal with about 30 First Nations right now across Manitoba and Saskatchewan, mostly in audit services, but we also do some consulting and financial help in setting up accounting systems, etc. Baker Tilly is a firm, we're an independent association of accounting firms across Canada. So if we do need help in other provinces, we certainly have offices there as well. Just a quick note on supporting the community. We always make this plea before we start, but we certainly are interested in hiring people from your community. We have had quite good luck with hiring from other communities. There are younger people that are interested in getting into the financial field and the accounting field, so we certainly can help in that. We do have people working in our offices across Manitoba from the communities that we work with. There's certainly a great need in many of the communities for accounting help, so it's a great career to get into. So we do help, we try to do some scholarships for people that want to get into education, and then also we can work at hiring them once they're in the programs. Just briefly on our audit approach. Yes, sir. You bet. Yes, we could just jump into what we do and what our role is. I think a lot of people are aware of what auditors do or what audit is, but just to confirm so that everybody knows what the process is. The First Nation is required to have an audit for their ISC and their health and some of their funding arrangements, but it's also a good process so that the community can see how the money was spent and make sure that the money was spent in accordance with the agreements. So the First Nation is required to hire an auditor. They have happened to engage us, so we work for the First Nation. What we do is we come in and audit the financial statements. So we get records from the First Nation, and then we have to go through them and try to prove that these numbers are correct. So what we end up doing at the end of the day is once we've gone through all the information, we've gathered all the evidence that we need to make our conclusions, then we come up with an audit report. And our audit report can be four actually different things. There's an unqualified audit report, which says that we believe these financial statements are without material misstatement. So that's what you want to have. You obviously want to have an unqualified report saying that we've done all our work and we believe these financial statements are correct. And that is what this last audit has produced at Roseau. There's also a qualified audit report, which says we believe these are without material misstatement except for these specific issues. And then there's a disclaimer of opinion, which would say the records are so bad that we can't tell if these financial statements are correct. You obviously metrics from the last financial statement. The annual surplus for the year ended 2023 was 427,000, which is, you know, for a First Nation your size, 427,000 is kind of just about break even, which is how a First Nation or a government should run. Like obviously a government organization that is providing education, social, roads, etc., isn't there to make money. You're not trying to make a big profit there. You're trying to provide as much service as you can and at least break even. So, like I say, there was a $427,000 surplus, which is virtually break even. There are $2.1 million of net financial assets, which means you have more assets than you do liabilities, which is obviously a good sign. So your cash and receivables, etc., exceed what your payables are. There's certainly some places that some government organizations as a whole that do not have positive financial assets, so that's a good sign. There are about 15.7 million of total financial assets, with cash being 9.5 million. So there's 9.5 million of cash in your bank accounts across your different organizations. Your total revenue for the year for the First Nation as a whole in the consolidated statement was $27 million, of which ISC had about 18 million. And your tangible capital assets, which is your buildings, your roads, your water treatment plants, etc., is about $12 million as well. The next page, I know we were talking about trusts and everything else. This next page describes what organizations are included in your audited or your consolidated financial statements. And what's supposed to be included in your consolidated financial statements are any organization that chief and council have control over. So some of the trusts are not consolidated because there are independent trustees and there's an independent board. So when we talk about financial assets, etc., those do not include the trusts. The trusts are reported on separately. So those aren't in your consolidated financial statements as of right now. So the entities that are reported on in the consolidated financials are the Housing Authority, the Seniors Lodge, the Wellness Center, ENT Services, all the ISC funded programs, the Income Assistance, the Community Development Account, On Reserve Housing, and the Own Source Revenues. So those are the only ones that are consolidated. And then there's a amount of other companies and organizations that are brought into the financial statements on a modified equity basis. And those are a lot of your smaller, whether it be the Gaming Center, Highway 6, the Oasis Gaming Center, Tie Creek Construction, and some of the numbered companies. So those are the only ones that are put into your consolidated financial statements. The next slide just lists a bit of a history on your financial statements. It's a graph, but the slide after that is actually the numbers. And we'll jump into those just in a little bit of detail. I think we started in 2013. The year before, 2012, 2011, there wasn't a financial consolidated audit done at that time. At that particular time when we started, you were under third-party management with IMG. So I don't know, I'm sure some people were around at that point in time, but obviously third-party management is not a great situation for the First Nation, and they were responsible for signing the checks, for doing all the financial, looking after programs, etc. So in 2013, there was an audit opinion. It was a disclaimer audit opinion because there just wasn't enough information there to make an audit opinion on. And your net financial assets were negative $2 million. So in 2013, you had a disclaimer, and there was also the net financial assets were negative. For 2014 and 2015, you were still in third-party management with IMG, and there was disclaimer opinions then as well. In 2016, you went to third-party management with MNP, and there became a qualified audit report. And at that point in time, your net financial assets were right around break even. So the next 3 years, 2017, 2018, there was 19, 20. They were qualified audit reports. And you got out of third-party management and you went into co-management, and it was with BDO for a little while, and then it went back to MNP. In 2021 was the first year you had an unqualified audit report. So the last 3 years there were unqualified audit reports, which, like I say, is a good sign. And it says that we believe these financial statements are correct. So that's good, obviously. And like I say, in 2022 and 23, your net financial assets became positive. So it's not, when your net financial assets are negative, it means you don't have enough assets to pay your liabilities, which are your payables and your whatever, your loans, etc. So that's not a good sign. But because you have a positive net financial assets, it does mean that you are in a better spot financially. So that's a good sign as well. Like I say, we're presenting the 2023 financials. The 2024 financials should be done here right away. And then 2025, we're going to start working on right after the new year. That should get you up to date, which is the first time you've been close to up to date for a while. So that's a good sign. Just on this graph, I guess, MNP Consulting Services, they came in, you were in co-management until 2019. Then MNP came in and helped, they were helped running the financial statements of the financial department up until 2024. Since 2024, the First Nation has taken over its own financial statements now, or own financial department. MNP is no longer helping with the consulting services, which is obviously a good sign as well. It means your people are looking after their own records and looking after preparing their own financial statements. So that has taken place for the last probably year and a half. And you're also not paying someone month to month to look after your accounting records. So there is people in-house now that are doing that. So those are all good signs. Like I say, the next few slides are just discussing some of the history of the audits, and that's just what we were discussing there as well. The audit for 2024, like I say, is pretty much ready to, we have a draft statement now. We're just trying to fine tune some of the departments and some of the information that we need. So we're trying to get that out before Christmas, but it's probably going to be just into the new year. And then, like I say, 2025, we'll be working on right after that. And I guess the last slide was just about some of the new ISC funding arrangements that they're looking at. They're looking at going into NFR grant, which as it is now with your funding arrangement, you get funded for specific programs and you have to report on those programs individually. With NFR grant, you have to qualify to be able to go into it. And with your financial reports and your unqualified audit reports and with some of your positive financial asset numbers, you will be able to do that. So it does give you a lot better agreement to get your funding from ISC. Gives you long-term funding predictability. It gives you annual funding escalators, so they escalate each amount each year. Much more financially stable, and you don't have to report on it individually in each individual program as well. So that will help going forward, and that's a good sign that you are applying for that. The next steps, we're just, like I say, we're going to finalize the 2024 audit, and then we're going to jump into 2025 and try to get that up to date in the new year. And once that's up to date, then you will be current with ISC and with all your financial reporting. Sure. And once again, as with all these presentations, it is a lot of information to take in a short period of time. Just to reiterate back on the financial state, the audit arrangement and what our job is. Like I say, we're hired to come in and look at your financial statements. The financial statements that we look at are your product. The only thing that we do is we issue an audit report on the front. So the audit report on the front is on your financial statements, and we say, we give a report, we give an opinion. And the opinions, like I say, and I think that's probably one of the more important things to take from this, the opinions can be unqualified, which say that we believe these are correct. And that's what the First Nation now has, is an unqualified audit report. There can be a qualified, which is what it was in the past, which just says we believe they're correct, except for certain instances. Like if we couldn't prove what your accounts receivable were, or we couldn't prove what your cash was, we'd qualify your report. And then there's a disclaimer of opinion, which means, you know, there's not enough records here to make an opinion. And then there's an adverse opinion, which would mean we believe these are incorrect. Like I say, unqualified is the highest opinion. The First Nation in the last 3 years have had that unqualified opinion, so that's a good sign. And just to reiterate, you know, that's what we do. We issue our audit report on top of your financial statements.
So I want to thank these auditors for their opinion. Audit. We have the highest audits that are possible. I'd like to have Ken Henry come up and Nelson James. These are our two financial guys. They do a lot of work. I hate to praise them once in a while, but they're the ones that are getting us to unqualified audit. Thank these guys. Very, very good. Now that we thank them, they're going to thank you. So everybody that is registered, try and get as many of them as possible inside here. He's going to make some draws. They're $100 each. You know, first 5 draws. There's going to be more draws. So people are going to get paid if you get. So we ought to get. There's some tickets that we got. Where are those tickets? Okay. So we're going to get some people coming in and just make a draw. And get one. All right. And we want to get the names of the people.
Okay.
Hang on. The number, where's the
Miranda's there to mark it down.
but there is a list of their names
Yeah,
when
right
you
here.
guys came in.
Yep.
All right. So
Yep.
that name or that number? Just a number, just a number.
Okay. 352. 352, 352.
Okay, 352, 352. That's who's the name on that? 352.
352, 352. Check your ticket. Name of youth by indoor vote. 352. 352, 352. You have your ticket.
Well, it might be me.
The number?
352.
352, 352. Check your tickets. They're missing out on $100. It's going to get thrown back in there.
Right here. No, that's the number in the beginning. Oh. You got to look at these ones right here.
352.
Right here. Oh, yeah. Arnold Smith. Arnold Smith.
Arnold Smith. Arnold Smith. Is he here? The outside, he's got to be in here if he's going to get that $100. Arnold Smith.
I've seen him over there somewhere, but.
Going once.
Come on, Arnold. Come on, Arnold.
Come on, Arnold. Going twice. Arnold.
Arnold.
Everybody on three.
Okay.
Arnold.
Here, let's see. Say. Okay, everybody on three called Arnold. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Arnold.
On Arnold, where are you?
No. Okay, going once.
Gone.
Okay, put it back in the truck.
Put it back in.
Going back in. Somebody want to pick one? Okay.
Remember old Miranda?
Don't fight him.
Don't fight him now. 352 6 352 673.
352 673.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there's going to be.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 1,000,
Done.
we'll do that after, put them back
All
in.
right, so now
Yeah.
we've got some housekeeping things to do here.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys hear now? There's a bit of interference, and I'm not sure why there was interference, but there was interference on here. So what I'm going to do for you guys, because I'm assuming that the sound has been corrected. Sound is on? Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do for you guys, while we're waiting for everybody to do their lunch, we're going to go through some of the stuff for you guys again. Most of the stuff, everything that was being said, if you missed out on any of it, has been addressed through the presentations. So we'll start off, like you guys missed out, some of the stuff was because of internet. Oh, hang on. So I'm not going to go too much detail, but I'm going to show you guys all the presentation stuff because they're going to keep moving after this to the next presentation. And I want to make sure that you guys got the information you're looking for. Some of the stuff that they actually talked, they skipped through some of the pages just to get to like the more important areas. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go through these while we can. So we'll start off with this one here. This was specific claims. Okay, so it says that each specific claim follows the same process, which is as follows. Submission, First Nation researches their own claims and submits those claims in accordance with the minimum standards set by Canada for claim submissions. Early review minimum standards within 6 months of receipt by the Minister of a claim submission. The specific claims branch will assess the submission to determine whether it means the minimum meets the, or yeah, it says means on here, but meets the minimum standards. If the claim meets the minimum standards, it will be filed with the Minister. Research and assessment. Once the claim is filed with Canada, Canada then has 3 years to assess it into accordance with the assessment criteria set out in the specific claims policy and process guide to determine if the claim will be accepted for negotiation. Negotiation and settlement, it says in cases where Canada notifies the First Nation that the claim has been accepted for negotiation, negotiations will be undertaken in an effort to come to a settlement of the claim. Specific Claims Tribunal, it says in cases where Canada does not accept a claim for negotiation, a claim may be filed with Specific Claims Tribunal. Then it says Roseau River and Anishinabe First Nation specific claims. You have the treaty benefits, the missed treaty payments, the land expansion and trust mismanagement, which are all the ones that are going to come up here. For the treaty benefit claims, I'm doing this because, you know, I know you guys missed some of this stuff and it really had nothing to do with me, but I'm trying to make it up to you. This claim relates to the Crown's failure to provide Roseau River and Anishinabe First Nation with certain benefits promised under the terms of Treaty Number 1. Under the terms of Treaty Number 1, including promises that were made at the time of negotiation called the outside promises, the Crown promised the signatory nations treaty benefits including farming tools and farming animals. The historical research supports the conclusion that the Crown failed to provide the nation with the benefits promised. The research further supports that even when the Crown did provide some of the benefits, those provided were of low quality and not suitable for the intended use. The claim claims that the Crown breached the terms of Treaty 1 and their fiduciary obligations to fulfill treaty promises to Roseau River and Anishinabe First Nation. Status and next steps. Joan Holmes and Associates was retained to provide historical research report with respect to the shortfall in provision of treaty benefits to Roseau River and Anishinabe First Nation. Final report received was August 2022. The claim submission has been prepared based on the research report and approved by the Council, submitted to Canada on October 10th, 2023. The claim is undergoing reviews by Canada under the Specific Claims Policy and Process Guide. Canada initial review completed and claim officially filed on October 10th, 2024. Canada has until April 10th, 2027 to advise the nation if Canada is prepared to accept the claim to negotiation, or for negotiation, sorry. Missed treaty payments claim, this is the other one. It says the claim relates to the Crown breach of the terms of Treaty Number 1 with respect to its failures to provide the certain payments in accordance with the terms of Treaty Number 1. Gratuities, a one-time payment upon signing Treaty 1. Annuities, annual payments to band members, chiefs, and headmen. This claim does not relate to the indexation or augmentation of the annuity payment of $5. The government has not raised the value of the annuity payment to maintain its purchasing power. The indexing and augmentation matter is being addressed in the Treaty 1 Class Action Court decision. And this is according to Zongadea Nelson versus the Attorney General Canada, MQB 19-01-22143. They're still doing their lunch, so I'm going to keep going. Initial research, Jones, Holmes, and Associates produced a research report entitled Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation Provision of Annuities, Gratuities, and Salaries under Treaty Number 1, dated April 2025. This report contains a detailed analysis of the gratuity and annuity payments made by the Crown between 1871 and 1985. The methodology information available on the pay list was transcribed into Excel sheets. The researchers calculated totals for the types of payments, noted changes in family composition, new tickets added to pay list, and absentees, in order to determine how many band members would potentially be owed arrears for a given year. This is the longest one, by the way, so we're going through it. Some of the small number stuff I'm not going to go through. This is an example from research report analysis of pay lists from 1878. It says here in the small writing on the left, 571 people were paid on the 1878 pay list, including the 3 chiefs and 12 councillors, for a total of 3,335. Arrears were paid to 65 members. It says here 305 and I believe 87 cents, for a total paid this year of the 3340. Several names of the deceased band members were struck from the pay list this year. The pay list continues to be arranged alphabetically, but includes old ticket numbers as well as the new ones to allow for cross-referencing. So that's that. The ticket stuff, I mean, you guys can look at that. Everybody got a pamphlet on that, so you should kind of get an understanding of that. If you want it, you can ask your chief and council for that information, and they'll give that information to you guys, so that way it's available for you, all right? And it says here that I'm still going, so I hope you guys can confirm that the mic is going good and the sound is good. I believe I found what the problem was, and hopefully it's all corrected. Treaty 1, Gratuities and Annuities, says the text of Treaty 1 contained, among other promises, the following promises relevant to this claim. One-time payment of $3 for each Indian man, woman, and child belonging to the bands represented at the negotiation. Annual payment to each Indian family of 5 persons, the sum of $15, or in like proportion for a larger or smaller family, $3 per person. Such annual payment to be made in such articles as the Indians shall require of blankets, clothing, prints, assorted colors, twine, or traps at the current cost price in Montreal or otherwise, if Her Majesty shall deem the same desirable in the interest of our Indian people in cash. This annual annuity payment will later be increased to $5 per person. They're just doing the lunch still. Unfulfilled and additional promises. Soon after signing Treaty 1, Indigenous signatories made repeated complaints concerning unfulfilled treaty promises. The Pembina Chiefs, Roseau River, wrote to the Minister of the Interior stating, "It is not for $3 a head that I would have sold my land." The Crown felt pressure to resolve the issue in 1875. An order in council consented by the nation set out. The outside promises were considered part of Treaty 1 and Treaty 2. Annuity payment was raised from $3 to $5 per annum. Chiefs were to receive $25 per annum. Another ministerial recommendation was approved by July 1876, order in council that set out headmen to receive $15 per annum. Government policies. Several government policies impacted the Crown's payments of annuities. Payment of arrears stopped for certain years. Commutation of annuities, where women who married someone other than a non-treaty Indian had her annuities commuted at 10 years purchase. Funded payments, where children were at industrial school, the department held the annuity payment on the child's behalf. Illegitimate children, for certain years, children born outside of the marriage were denied annuity payments. Residents in the United States, First Nation members who moved to the United States were denied annuities. Amounts. The amount of missed payments regarding these policies is not known. Findings from the research. We're going to get into that. And by the way, a lot of this stuff kind of was like skipped through, so you're getting the extra here by getting the reading from my behalf. Findings from the research shortfalls and payments. Gratuities, 1,221. Annuities, 23,722. Chief and headman, 1,170. In addition to the shortfall in payments, the claim submission will also claim for loss of payments for the years when documentation is lost or destroyed, loss of payments in relation to policy considerations. Please don't do that. Thank you. I know, and I wish you didn't. Trying to do work here, and people are interfering. Status and next steps. Initial claim submission has been drafted. Internal reviews are in process. Claim is being updated. Will be finalized and submitted to the council for the consideration. Once the claim submission is approved by the nation, the claim submission will be submitted to Canada for processing under the specific claim policy and process guide. Getting into a land expansion claim now. The claim relates to an oral promise that was made by a Crown agent at the time of negotiating the terms of Treaty Number 1. Specifically, the Crown stated the First Nation will receive so much land on the Roseau River as will furnish 160 acres for each family of 5, or in that proportion for larger or smaller families. And whenever his children get more numerous than they are now, they will be provided for further west. Whenever the reserves are found too small, the government will sell the land and give the Indians land elsewhere. The second part of the above is referred to as a land expansion promise. And so this is a little bit of a historical thing, but you can't see all the details on it, so I'm just going to read the big print. I'm sure you can find this. You can ask your chief and council to get you a copy of this weekly Manitoban article, which was, it says in Harold Rupert's Land and the Northwestern Territory. The land expansion promise was recorded as having been said in the Manitoban and Northwest Herald dated July 28, 1871. This claim heavily relies on legal analysis as to the proper interpretation of the terms of Treaty Number 1. Status of claims and the next steps. It says initial claim has been drafted. Internal reviews are in process. Claim will be updated, will be finalized and submitted to the council for their consideration. Once the claim submission is approved by the nation, the claim submission will be submitted to Canada for processing under the specific claim policy and process guide. Trust accounts mismanagement. This is the next claim. This claim relates to the mismanagement of Roseau River and Anishinaabe First Nation trust funds held by the Crown of the nation. This claim covers an extended period of time from 1883 to the present. Roseau River and Anishinaabe First Nation's first trust account was established in 1883. In 1889, this account was designated as a capital account, and a separate interest account, later to be known as the revenue account, was also created. The capital account and the interest accounts have been held by Canada for the nation since they were first established and continue to be held by Canada. There are 3 parts to this claim. 1, the Crown breached the terms of the Indian Act by spending trust funds on items not permitted by the various Indian acts and or spending funds without obtaining required authorizations required by the various Indian acts, Governor General, Order in Council, Band Consent, both Governor and Council, and Band Consent. Number 2, the Crown breached its fiduciary or trust-like obligation by failing to use the scale proceeds from the surrender of reserve land in accordance with the terms of the surrender document. Number 3, requiring the nation to use its trust funds to pay for relief and agricultural treaty benefits promised to the nation under Treaty Number 1. The 1903 surrender of Roseau River IR2. That's something up there. Can I mute their mic? No. See, these are the things that are in my hand I can't control. In 1903, approximately 12 square miles of land was taken from the Roseau River IR2 and sold by the Crown. The surrender document required the Crown to expend the sale proceeds from the sale of this land as follows. Deduction of a portion of the sales proceeds for the Indian Land Management Fund, ILMF, with the remainder to be placed to the credit of the First Nation. The surrender document provided that the usual proportion for expenses of management would be deducted from the sale proceeds, and that the remainder of the sale proceeds after the deduction will be placed to the creditor or to the credit of the First Nation. Use of 10% of the sale proceeds for articles and commodities. The surrender document required that 10% of the sale proceeds would be used for articles or commodities desired by the First Nation and approved by the department as soon as the funds were available. Purchase of 2 sections of land adjacent to RR2A, the surrender document required that the sale proceeds be used to purchase 2 sections of land adjacent to Roseau River IR2A as soon as the funds were available. It's a lot of reading, man. I'm telling you, they skipped a lot of this stuff because it's a lot of reading. But you guys are lucky because I'm trying to make it up to you guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. Give me a like if you do, and you can always share as well. And any negative comments or derogatory comments will be erased just in case if you've seen some of them being erased already. If you have any questions regarding to any of the stuff that's being brought up, you want any more information, you can contact your chief and counsel. You can email them. There's a website. There's all the emails for each one of them. You can email directly and ask them your questions or concerns about any of the stuff that's being brought up throughout today. Breaches of Indian Act and Surrender Agreement. Breaches of the Indian Act. Unauthorized expenditures, required consent not provided for many of the expenditures. Breaches of Crown's fiduciary obligations with respect to the sale proceeds. Using the sale proceeds in a manner and on items that were not permitted under the surrender document and thereby expending the sale proceeds. Breaches of the Crown's duty with respect to management of the trust accounts, expenditure of the trust funds on relief matters which the Crown was already paying for, use of trust funds to pay for treaty benefits, and breach of duty to account, unknown expenditures. Initial research on accounts mismanagement. Joan Holmes and Associates prepared a research report entitled Roseau River Trust Account Management Historical Report dated May 2023. Using this report, a draft claim submission entitled Capital and Interest Account Mismanagement Specific Claims was prepared. The initial draft went through several internal reviews with Avenue Law and SMP Law. It was identified that additional research and revisions to the initial research report was required. Status and next steps. Currently in communication with Joan Holmes and Associates to receive additional information and a revised research report. After receiving updated research, the claim will be finalized and presented to the council for the review. Once the claim submission is approved by the nation, the claim submission will be submitted to Canada for processing under the specific claim policy and process guide. And that was that. So that was the first one, which you guys probably missed a lot of that because there was no internet thing going on at the moment. What's this one? Yeah, that one's coming up later, so that one's not yet. This was a report from Steven. I don't have that one either. So the first one would have been this one. Yes. So I got to find this now. This is what you guys missed so far. You didn't miss anything because everything's been on the screen. There's some stuff that you missed from the presentation, but everything on the presentation was read from this from the file that I have on the screen for you guys. So you didn't miss anything technically. We'll start here. Let me get this in order here for you guys. I'm actually going to bring it up a little bit more. We'll fill up the screen maybe. Because people are up there right now doing their thing anyway, so we'll just bring this up a little bit for you guys. So this says Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation presentation to community. And it was presented by Mike P. Angers and Mohammed Azadazaman. All right, so we'll go to the first picture here. They're basically talking about agenda. It says Baker Tilly, who are we? And overall audit progression, looking ahead of the nation, supporting the community advance. So this is just the agenda of what they were going to get into. Our presence in Manitoba is robust. It says our office prides itself in helping communities all over Manitoba. We have offices in Winnipeg. Sorry, I'm reading fast and I'm skipping things here too like them. Sorry, I got to apologize for that. We have offices with Winnipeg, DePaul, Thompson, and Flin Flon. The aim of our offices across Manitoba is to ensure we are close to the communities we serve. We are a team of approximately 100 dedicated professionals. Our firm is mainly involved in audit mandates, tax, advisory, and we help support economic development. We serve 30 First Nation communities in Manitoba, various tribal councils, economic development entities, and offer various pro bono work for First Nations. This is a bigger paragraph. It's more or less just trying to explain where they're set up. If you want that information, you can look it up on their website. Supporting the community, our office prides itself in supporting accounting development within the communities we serve. We aim to help future accounting leaders within Roseau River First Nation, and have received interest from a few members. We are always looking to hire and help train community members. We will support them in the years to come as they learn to grow in the CPA program, which is a 3 to 5 year journey. This will continue to support the community's needs and growth by empowering Indigenous economies and building prosperity. More Indigenous CPAs play a crucial role in supporting the economic growth of Roseau River First Nation, contributing to sustainable development. Inclusive education for Indigenous students. By equipping CPA education program development and firm support, we aim to enhance support for Indigenous students and promote academic success, empower individuals, along with contributing meaningfully to the accounting finance field. It's a lot of reading, man. Audit approach. So this is, they kind of glanced through this a little bit, but we're going to go through it as long as I can, and we'll go here. So audit approach, Baker Tilly HMA LLP employs a risk-based audit methodology. Our auditing approach revolves around a comprehensive evaluation of risk encountered by Roseau River First Nation. Then it says First Nation referred to as First Nation community. A risk-based audit helps foster assurance that financial statements and controls are reliable, safeguarding resources. Government support. The risk-based approach assists in evaluating the effectiveness of governance structures and the internal controls, helps identify weaknesses or deficiencies for which we look to provide the recommendations for improvement. Valued and added insights. Our risk-based approach goes beyond financial statements, allowing us to assess broader risks. We can provide valuable insights on policies and procedures and operational impact. Our auditor's report highlights management's responsibilities, preparation, and fair presentation in accordance with the Canadian Public Sector Accounting Standards. Auditor's responsibility expressed an opinion based on audit conducted in accordance with Canadian Generally Accepted Auditing Standards. What is an audit required? Why is an audit required, and what is the importance? Apologies for that again. What is an audit? An audit is an independent review of the community's financial records and transactions. This helps the nation and funder confirm that money was spent according to agreements, budgets, and policies. Ensures, it's got a couple of step process there. Ensures the accuracy of financial statements, which shows the true financial position of the community. Helps protect the community from errors, misuse, or fraud. Why is it important, or why it's important? The audit and results ensure and build trust between chief and council members, and funders. This leads to strengthening financial governance and internal controls. One, provides evidence of responsible management for the future funding approvals. Two, helps leadership make informed decisions about programs and services. What it does. The audit reviews income and expenses and ensures all funds are properly recorded, checks compliance along with confirming spending aligns with ISC or ISC fund agreements. Number one, identifies risks or gaps, highlights areas for improvement in financial management. Number two, gives an audit opinion, official statement that confirms whether the community's financial statements are accurate and complete. So very important stuff. Going on to the next page. There was a page that was skipped on there that wasn't provided to me. So they talked about Roseau River First Nation recent audit dashboard. They had annual surplus. It says 427K prior year. Annual surplus was 3.8 million. It says prior year for the total financial assets, 15.7 million, cash 9.5 million. Prior year total financial assets were 13.5 million. Total revenue, it says 27 million. ISK 18.8 million. Trust revenue, can't quite tell there. I just can't see what it says. Tobacco tax rebate says 1.4 million. 2.1 million in net financial assets. Prior year, net financial assets were 2.9 million. Working capital, ISK target is 90%. Current year is 102. Prior year was 104. So that's going in a good direction. Tangible capital assets, TCA, is 12.2 million. Prior year was 12.4 million. All right, so now we'll go to the screen here. It says Roseau River First Nation Consolidation. The Roseau River First Nation reporting entity encompasses the Roseau River First Nation government, and affiliated entities accountable to it, owned or controlled by the First Nation. These financial statements consolidate assets, liabilities, and operations. Enter entity balances the eliminated, yet segment disclosures maintain the transactions details for daily clarity. And then we'll go to the left side first. This is entities that are consolidated. Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation entities, departments, the GINEW Housing Authority, Inc., GINEW Seniors Lodge, GINEW Wellness Center, GINEW ENT Services, Inc., Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation ISK funded programs, Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation Income Assistance, Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation Community Development Account, Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation on reserve housing, Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation own source revenue. On the right side now, it says accounted for by modified equity method, Roseau River Anishinaabe Limited Partnership or OA Nichi Oasis Gaming Center. Then it says 5002818 Manitoba Limited, Highway 6 Oasis Limited, GINEW Oasis Gaming Center 10002085 Manitoba Limited, 10019238 Manitoba Limited, 1026446 Manitoba Limited, 10026448 Manitoba Limited, Tie Creek Construction Limited Partnership, Tie Creek Construction Inc. There's all the stuff that was kind of skipped, so you guys got lucky here. You got a little bit extra. This is the graph that just shows improvements over time, and it's basically just numbers. You can look at this. You can ask your chief and counsel for this information too. If you came here, you got a pamphlet with that information, so you got everything there for you. We're going to go a little bit further here. We're going into the consolidated audit. So here are some numbers that were brought up that were, I guess, important for everybody to understand and know. So the year 2013, third-party management with IMNG, disclaimer September 28, 2015, which is a report date. 2 years later, financial assets net debt minus $2,330,974. Annual surplus was $843,215. Accumulated surplus overall was $6,040,825. In 2014, third-party management with IMG, disclaimer, the report date was on December 22nd, 2015. Financial assets then were minus $2,554,189. And then the annual surplus was $1,080,280. Accumulated surplus for that year in 2014 was $4,960,545. In 2015, third-party management with IMG, disclaimer. It says when it says disclaimer, that's an audit opinion, so it's disclaimer. January 27, 2017 is the report date. The financial asset net debt was $1,509,643. Annual surplus for that year was $1,049,169. The accumulated surplus for that year was $6,9,714. In 2016, third-party management within MNP qualified. Now it says this, not disclaimer. It says qualified on that one. February 23rd, 2018 was the report date. Financial assets were $27,606. Annual surplus was $657,000 or $607, and the accumulated surplus for that year was $5,352,000 with $107. In 2017, another qualified audit opinion, third-party management with MNP. So the first 3 years were the IAMG. The next 2 years, which I'm talking about right now, 2016, and this current one, 2017, were with MNP. It says qualified as well. The report date was August 17, 2018. Financial assets were $80,568. Annual surplus for that year was $525,878. The accumulated surplus for that year was $4,826,229. As we move on to the next layer, which is 2018, this was third-party management with BDO, and it was a qualified audit opinion as well. May 15, 2019 is the report date. Financial assets are $1,896,481. The annual surplus for that year in 2018 was $2,938,493, and the accumulated surplus for 2018 was $11,927,000 with $824. Moving into 2019, co-management with BDO, it says here, qualified as well, the audit opinion, and it was reported on November 14, 2019. Financial assets that year was a minus $159,168. The annual surplus was also a minus $134,430. And the accumulated surplus was $10,275,063. And that was for 2019. As we progress a little further down, we go into 2020. Back to MNP Consulting Services. The first one in 2020 was qualified audit opinion. The report date was November 23rd, 2021. The financial assets for that year were minus $1,845,987. The annual surplus for that year was $1,101,185. Accumulated surplus for that year was $10,800,000 with $394. In 2021, MNP Consulting Services was again the level of intervention. They had an unqualified audit opinion that year, and that was reported on October 31st, 2023, just a couple years ago. The financial assets were minus $267,724. The annual surplus was plus $1,317,511. Sorry, and the annual accumulated surplus for the year was $12,117,905. Moving on to the next year, which is 2022, it was MNP Consulting Services again for the level of intervention. The audit opinion was unqualified, and the date for that report was April 8th, 2024. The financial assets for that year were $2,947,381. The annual surplus for the year was $3,833,653. And the annual accumulated surplus for that year in 2022 was $951,558. And 2023, just a couple years ago, MNP Consulting was the level of intervention again. They had an unqualified audit opinion. The report was made on April 22nd this year, 2025. The net debt or financial assets was $2,150,471. The annual surplus for 2023 was $427,603, and then the accumulated surplus overall for that year in 2023 was $16,397,161. In 2024, they have something that says here that MNP Consulting Services was the level of intervention. The audit opinion was likely qualified. The report date is in progress as of today. And the financial assets, annual surplus, and accumulated surplus are all to be determined. That was a lot. But I'm doing it for you guys because, it's important. We still have time. People are still getting food, still doing things. So audits for 2013 to 2015. Financial evolution, this stuff they skipped really quickly. They just went to the end because they figured like everybody got this. I'm going to read it out to you guys anyway. Financial evolution and audit trajectory. From 2013 to 2015, RRAFN faced significant challenges in the audit process, including missing information and incomplete records. During this period, the nation received disclaimer audit opinions reflecting limitations in financial report and governance structures. Net financial assets were negative, indicating net debt and limited capacity for reinvestment in community programs. Accumulated surplus fluctuated, underscoring the difficulty in achieving consistent financial stability and planning for long-term initiatives. Despite these challenges, the period laid the groundwork for improvements in financial management, internal controls, and governance, providing a foundation for the stabilization and enhanced reporting achieved in subsequent years. Audits for 2016 to 2019. So between 2016 and 2019, Roseau River and Anishinaabe First Nation transitioned to qualified audit opinions, reflecting notable progress in financial reporting while highlighting areas requiring further attention such as housing records and capital asset management. The nation achieved positive net financial assets in 2018, signaling improved fiscal stability and the ability to support community programs. Accumulated surplus consistently increased during this period, demonstrating strengthened financial oversight, disciplined budgeting, and strategic planning. These improvements provided a foundation for enhanced governance and operational maturity, positioning Roseau River and Anishinaabe First Nation to manage resources more effectively, supporting housing and wellness initiatives, and pursue economic development opportunities with greater transparency and accountability. So it sounds like everybody in your community that has been leaders have been doing all the right things over the years to get everything where it should be and not where it was. At least that's what the reports are saying so far. And that's between this term and the last term, and moving, I guess, forward the next term, whoever's elected the next time around. Audits for 2020 to 2023, so leading up to 2 years ago. Strengthen governance and operational maturity. By 2021, Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation achieved unqualified audit options, demonstrating robust financial reporting, accountability, and governance practices. The nation maintained positive net financial assets, including a notable surplus of $3.8 million in 2022, reflecting sound fiscal management and resource allocation. Accumulated surplus continuing to grow, reaching $16.8 million by 2023, highlighting effective stewardship and the ability to support community priorities. Once again, it's showing that your leadership has done a good job over the last few years. These improvements underpin enhanced operational maturity, enabling strategic investments in housing, wellness, and economic development initiatives. Stronger internal controls, very important. Consolidated reporting and transparent financial practices have positioned Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation to sustain long-term financial stability while providing predictable and effective services to the community. Audits for 2024 to be progressed and finalized. The audit for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024, which was last year, is expected to be completed by the end of December or early January 2026 and may result in a likely qualified opinion due to the transitional documentation gaps. These gaps stem from the change in chief and council and management, affecting records such as reconciliations, capital assets, housing programs, and business enterprises files. The traditional period, however, has prompted the implementation of stronger governance, internal controls, and documentation practices, aligning with PSAS and Indigenous service requirements. Management is actively addressing the gaps to ensure future audits are fully supported, enhancing transparency. Please don't come around there, guys, please. I lost where I was going. The gaps stem from the change in chief and council management. The transitional period, however, was prompted the implementation of stronger governance, internal controls, documentation practice, aligning with PSAS and Indigenous service requirements. I have to read that over again. Management is actively addressing the gaps to ensure future audits are fully supported, enhancing transparency, accountability, and fiscal integrity. The experience also positions Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation for a smoother 2025 audit anticipated by mid-2026 and reinforces long-term financial stability, supporting sustainable community programs, housing initiatives, and economic development priorities. Moving on to the next part of this presentation. You guys got the better deal, man, because I read all of it. I didn't skip anything, really. The nation is shifting to the NFR grant. Impact of the new fiscal relationship NFR grant. The NFR grant, which is the new fiscal relationship, introduced by Indigenous Services Canada, or ISC, is an optional funding mechanism designed to provide First Nations with predictable and flexible funding for up to 28 programs and services. Key benefits include long-term funding predictability, renewable terms of up to 2 years, allowing for strategic planning and stability, annual funding escalator adjustments based on inflation and population growth, ensuring funding keeps pace with community needs, reduced administrative burden, simplify reporting requirements, enabling communities to focus more on program delivery and less on compliance. For Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation, participation in the NFR grant has facilitated the following: enhanced program delivery, improved capacity to plan and deliver services such as education, healthcare, and governance, community empowerment, greater anonymity, somebody's phone went off. Community empowerment, greater autonomy in decision-making and resource allocation, aligning programs with community priorities, financial stability, a more predictable funding stream contributing to the overall financial health and sustainability of the nation. The last part was cut off, but I just read it because it's on, kind of scribbled out, but I read it. The next steps. So we're getting to the end of this one. The next steps are to finalize the 2024 audit, and the progression of the 2025 audit finalization will be in 2026. This is a big achievement, as audits will be fully finalized and up to date. So that led to the point of the questions and answers, which we didn't end up doing the question and answers. They did the draw stuff. So that right there catches up everything that was presented to you guys up until now. I don't have the specific here for some of the stuff that was read out, so I can't read that out. That was like when the introductions came in from each person. So far, everything is up to par. I'll bring this up again so you guys know they're currently on a lunch break. We're going to resume everything from that point on. We had the speakers from our BC come on. They were the very first people that came on. Then we had SBM Law. They did the presentation with Stephen Philippou. And then that's the one that I read first. And then the second one was from Baker Tilly of Canada. And they were the ones that presented what I just went through. So as of right now, we're waiting for the Economic Development Corporation presentation, which is going to be done through Terry Nelson. And then we have a little bit more of that presentation stuff for you guys that you'll be able to watch on the screen. If you're here in person, you can check that out with the pamphlets you got it that when you registered, they gave you a pamphlet with a lot of information. And then other than that, you'll see it on the screen. So keep watching on the stream. You're going to see it on the screen. And I hope that kind of helped you guys, because I know there was a lot of information you guys wanted to hear that you might have missed, that you felt that you missed, and you likely did from the mic cutting in and out. That issue has been addressed. It's all been corrected. And as of right now, everything that was missed that you guys thought you might have missed was read word per word, including the stuff that wasn't even read. So you guys actually got a word. You don't even have to look at the pamphlet. You can tell your community members and friends and family just to go back and watch the stream once they get into the lunch break, and then they're going to get a full breakdown of everything that happened up until the lunch break. And that's a bonus, honestly, it was. Because technically, I'm not even supposed to be doing that. Like, if the mic has issues, that's not my problem. My sound is set up properly. But I'm a good guy, and I try to do good for the communities. I know how important it is for everyone, so I did my part. I read everything for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little bit fast, but it was trying to keep up with the pace to make sure that the lunch didn't stop and that they went into the next paragraph or the next segment without you guys being up to date. So I did my best to make sure that you guys were all up to date. Hopefully you guys understood all of that. I'm going to go through some of the questions here. And just so you know, I'll repeat this again. If there's any negative comments, derogatory comments, they're not going to be acknowledged. They're going to be erased. And other than that, anything that's positive or anything that's informational that that you guys need to get some information on, I will see what I can read and answer. Other than that, these are questions that can be brought up to your community counselors and your chief, Gary Roberts. You can send them an email and ask them these questions that you have in regards to this stuff. They have a website with the email set up for each and every person. I'm going to look at these questions. I'm going to screenshot some of these questions. I'm going to pass them on to them so that way when there's a little bit of time at the end, maybe they can address these questions for you guys. And if not, then, I mean, you got a process. You can email them. You'll find out. Where's the information when some of us need to work? So Benjamin George, all you have to do is just ask your chief and counsel for that information. If you have a family member that can come in here to the gymnasium at the school, they can pick up a pamphlet with all information. They got everything there. It's all written down page by page, man. Everything that I read is 100% on there. So all you got to do is get somebody to get a copy for you here, or you can email chief and counsel and ask for a copy. They're not going to throw these copies out. They're going to be giving them out whenever somebody needs them, because this was an important meeting for everyone. So make sure that you just ask for it. You're going to get it, man. Let's go back, because there's a lot of comments here. Take it easy, guys. Take it easy. I'm doing my best, man. Your sound's still going up? Yeah. Right on, man. Mike is going good right now. Right on. That's good. Good to hear. Sabby French is doing a great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, none of the stuff that I just did is like part of my job. Normally, I would even charge extra, but I'm not going to do that because I love Roseau River. You guys always treated me good every time I come out here, and you've always been respectful on my streams. So because of that, I want to be respectful towards you guys, and I understand how important the information is. So I'm doing that for you guys because I know it's important and because I appreciate you guys. I'm going to read the comments as I know what's going on. Okay, so Rachel, I'm going to take a screenshot of your question here because it's a valid question. I don't know what the answer is for that one, but these are the questions that, people will want to know. So I got that. Semi Sumners wants to know if they're getting the 5,000. They're going to address that probably after, when they're done with this next presentation, after lunch is done. So I'll make sure that I present that to them too. North Eagle is calling. You weren't very kind, but I'm kind with you, man. It just, we have to understand each other, right? Will this presentation be uploaded onto the website? It's on Facebook. You can find it. I put a link for my YouTube channel. I put it on my YouTube channel just in case. I always do that just in case, because Facebook, and make sure everybody's listening to the words that I'm about to say. They're very important. You can't bitch about this after, be mad about this after with anyone, because I'm letting you guys know. Facebook algorithm has changed. After 30 days, this stream on Facebook will be erased automatically. It has nothing to do with me. It is Facebook algorithm. It'll automatically erase any stream at 30 days. It will give me an option to download. I don't know if I'll be able to, but if I can, I will. Okay, so that way I keep a memory for you guys. It is on my YouTube channel. Nothing ever gets erased on my YouTube channel. So if you go on the YouTube channel, you'll be good to go. All right? You can watch it anytime. And you can find it. Let me see if I can pin this for you guys. I need to find it first. I can't even find it. Comments went by everywhere. So I'm gonna find the. I'll do it right now. Why wait, right? Let's do it right now. I don't know if I'll be able to pin this. I'm gonna try. So this right now that just popped up, that is my YouTube channel. Yeah, I can pin it. So that'll be pinned on there for you guys. So now you know, okay? Just go to the YouTube channel. If you have people that don't have Facebook, they want to watch this right now, they just send them the link via their messenger, via their phone, cell number, text. They'll be able to click on it and go automatically. They don't need a YouTube account. Okay. So we got that. Gino. That's not for that. It's that's a lineup for food, man. Maybe for money too, but I believe that's for food. Gino, you got that wrong. Ray French says thank you. You're very welcome. Absolutely. Melissa Jason, what did I miss? Did I discuss the loan and the band members payouts yet? No, they're going to do that probably after lunch is done. They got more. They have the economic development corporation presentation coming up, and after that they're probably going to do that. So, but I'll take a picture of this so I can show this to them, so that way they have an idea that these are some of the questions that you guys are asking. Please keep the questions clean, because we're going to erase anything that's negative. This is supposed to be about progress for your community. If you have any concerns when it comes to any of the stuff that's being presented, please reach out to your community council members or your chief, Gary Roberts, and they will get all that information to you. Okay, just send them an email. Is the best way to do it, through their website. I'm not sure what's going on with the sound, but there's something going on with the sound that's out of my hands right now. Try to fix it from my end, but I don't think it has anything to do with me. It has to do with them. Where's information on his work? I've seen that already. However, he's interested in the 5Gs, not community progress, he says. Or doesn't say that, but that's what he's getting at. December 18th. Okay, I'm assuming that's the answer for him. Oh, this is bad, man. It's nothing to do with my sound. That's the worst part. It's clipping, and nothing I can do about the clipping. Hi. Oh, that's what's going on. I'll be right back.
So that's the horse song. And back in 1919, that song was first sung. It was right after the Spanish flu. And that comes from our people. So it's very, very good. So thank you very much, guys. Reminds me of Leonard and Anakut, Herman Atkinson. Shared all these things, and now you're carrying them. Be with you.
Go. Oh. Hello, hello, hello. First off, again, thanking the singers for rendering that beautiful song. It's important to acknowledge those ones that are not with us and those that have moved on before us. I'm going to ask for a second here. I know it's really crowded. I hope everybody enjoyed their lunch. I'm going to ask that we try to keep the children off the stage and from running around a little bit, just in a little bit of time, so we can have some of the information that needs to get out. Some of the information that we're going to share. You're probably wondering, how am I going to get my check? How am I going to get my EFT? What are my options for those kind of things? So we're going to sit and kind of answer some of that out. We do have a presentation from our housing manager in a bit, but we're going to get through some of that info. So again, I'm going to ask these little ones if you guys can kind of stay to the side a little bit, and so we don't step over them, so we don't get anybody hurt and those kind of things. So with that being said, you're probably all wondering how we're going to get this $5,000, how we're going to access your money. We've been speaking with the bank very diligently and working along with our finance department, with Ken and his team. We are prepared to issue checks next Thursday. But also, there's another option that was presented to us by the bank, by Royal Bank. If you have your electronic information, your current banking information with us already, please confirm with us again that it's the current information. We are asking for you to do this by the end of Tuesday afternoon. Those that have provided their electronic information to us for an electronic funds transfer, please let us do so. Please let our team know. The government office, I believe, right? Submit all the information will be going to the government office. Just one second. The government office will be taking the information and they'll be giving it to the finance team. Our team is going to start preparing some things on Friday. We want to ensure that we have a seamless process to get everything out. We do have some membership that live in different parts of the country, in the south of the medicine line. We also have some that I understand that live out in England. We have a way that we've set up months ago that we do business with the nation to electronically deal with payments. So we'll be issuing out those payments in Canadian funds, though. Just make that very clear. That disbursement will be done in the Canadian amount. It won't be converted over to American, and it won't be converted over to euros, for example. If you do not have a bank account, you have an opportunity a few days to go and open one up. RBC, I believe, has mentioned that they're able to no-fee banking. So if you have an ID, if you have some information, identification, your current things, please share the word as well. RBC is able to open up a bank account, no-fee banking account. Now, this is vital to know that the checks are coming directly from RBC and they'll be issued at they'll be issued. So it might be easier just to take them to a branch nearby. We've spoken with the regional person that we deal with. We are able to accommodate the people at that time to go when they start going to cash their checks. If you prefer an electronic fund transfer, which is something that we couldn't do last time, but now we have the capabilities to do that now. So please get your information to us by that date. End of day, we don't like putting deadlines in, but this is because of preparation for Thursday. So if you can get your current banking information, ideally it would be an account, like a verification of a void check or those account information. You can go to your online banking. When you open up an account, look at what your perimeters and your limits are when it comes to accessing the money and availability. The ability to do it electronically, it abstains and it takes away the holds that an institution might put on. Because if you don't deal with one of the bigger four banks, or depending on your own personal banking situations, that bank might put a hold on it for a few business days based on the amount. By doing it electronically, we'd like to encourage that so we can just get the money straight into your accounts. Any kind of questions? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. If your information's with us already, we already have it for electronic fund transfer. You just have to let us know if that's how you prefer. Okay? Because I know we have people on the social assistance program that have all their banking information with us. We can just electronically do it that way. And it is important to note what the bank said today and what the lawyers have said today, that this is a gift. It's not a, it's important for distinction that this is a gift from the nation to its membership as a whole. It's important for different logistics and on our end, so it doesn't affect income that is revenued and collected in for you guys. Okay? Any kind of, we've got some suggestions for either one of the council members or our membership clerk or someone with a ban list to sit at some of the branches so we can designate branches for people to go to and that we can verify if people don't have the proper ID. They require a piece of government ID when you guys go to the bank. And if you don't have a government photo issue ID, they'll give us some parameters and some options to kind of work with you guys on. That's why they're asking for us to be at the bank to kind of, at the branches to verify some items. Now, again, just to be clear, if you want an electronic transfer or electronic fund transfer, you have to let the government, we would like you to let us know. If you'd like us to continue on with your current banking information that's already with us, then please also indicate that, because I know we can do that with a lot of the social clients that we already have. Some of the vendor payments, people that have received via EFTs already, just let us know that's your current information. The finance team, there's a big process involved with it. We understand, like, it's going to take some time. Please have some understanding that this team is going to work really hard to get this out for Thursday. Ken and his team, they're not here right now. They're off working and getting ready for tomorrow's event, which is the Christmas dinner. They're all working to ensure that things run smoothly and the service delivery coming into the community runs as efficiently as we can. With this, we are going to put the priority to issue payments out first above, and we've let the council know these things, that we are going to need a few days for us to kind of get things together and get things organized so we can issue everything on Thursday. Okay. Is there any questions? So Thursday we're gonna probably get some more details, but it sounds like disbursement, if you pick up a check, will be done at the gaming center. We'll have tables set up. We'll have staff there to help out. We have our team ready to make some adjustments as needed. The membership list has been adjusted. There's been people that have passed on. We've had to take off. We've had some people that are just registering, the minors. So those are things that are left up to the lawyers, I would imagine, with the minors trust. So the minor situation, but we're concentrating on those 18 and above right now. That's what's happening Thursday. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. You have to come up. Then you have to look all serious when you're up here.
What happens if you can't bank with RBC?
Well, that's the thing that's going to be encountered by different things. I know that we understand people deal with different institutions, credit unions, other banks, one of the big fours. There's a lot of financial institutions out there. But RBC is the one that set up things most accessible. It all depends on your personal institution that you bank with. That's why we're suggesting electronic fund transfers for people if we can. Last time we didn't have that ability to do because of the time frame. This time we have that ability to issue those electronically. So if you wish it to go directly into your account, just let us know at the government office. They can tell the finance team.
RBC has said for the other banks that are around here, credit unions, CIBC, wherever you're banking, RBC has put out that information to those banks that those checks are, and they're good. So if they're put into your account, you should have access to them, all $5,000. So.
For the ones that want to do the transfers, automatic, how do they notify you with the banking information? Office number or email?
Ariel LaRock, A-R-I. Yeah, I could send it to you. So just send me a message and then I'll send you, and then you could just send your direct. So everybody, if you have direct deposit forms from your bank already, send them to me, Rachel.Ferreira, FERREIRA at RRAFN.com. Or if you need to write that down later, just call the office. Ariel will give you her email, and then you guys send your direct deposit forms to Ariel LaRock, our receptionist, and then we'll send that to finance on your behalf.
Thank you for clarifying. We also have, like when we do electronic fund transfers, we have to have certain things in before a certain part of the day. That's why we're asking for the information on by end of day Tuesday. If you don't have your current banking information for us for electronic fund transfer, I believe we'll have to issue via check. Just confirming with Ken. If you do not submit your current banking information with us by end of day Tuesday, we are going to issue a check on Thursday. We'll have one ready for you Thursday, okay? That's what we have to do. It's kind of things that we have to go through just to kind of we want to ensure that everybody gets their money in a timely fashion.
One more item that I know Linda's here. Where's Linda? You want to come up, Linda? She's talking about those people are always asking about doors and windows and housing, and it'd be good to hear directly from Linda on that. Is she around? The other thing too that it may not be like available right now, but the thing is that we do have a person that was going to make a presentation here. You see those wind farms on the other side of L'Atelier? He's wanting to do 60 to 80 wind farms in and around this area. It's going to be about we'll probably have a benefit of about $3 million a year. So from the wind farms. So there's going to be about 60 to 80 wind farms being built around here. And not necessarily on the reserve, but around here. So he's putting in a lot of money. I think the last numbers I heard was 250 to 400 million. So it's big. There's a few jobs there. Probably not going to last very long because these things don't, they're not very, it doesn't take long to put these towers up. But just letting you know, maybe you can ask, and here's Linda. She's, so any issues that I have a housing portfolio, so does Rachel.
And you?
Yeah, that's what I told him. But if you have anything to blame in regarding housing, this is the one here. I'm just kidding you. This is Linda.
Sorry, I had one more question in the audience. Travis Hayden, can everybody stare at him? He's right there. Put you on the spot there, Travis. He asked us if on December 18th, 19th, when we give the distribution, he wants to know if he can take that check to RBC. RBC, our main bank, is at 200 Portage Avenue, so you can go there and cash your check directly. Right? And then if you don't have a bank account, RBC will make account for you if you have even if you have no IDs. Mary Antoine at the membership will help verify you. So if anybody has no IDs, no bank, come by our office and we'll try to help you get that going for yourself, okay? And if you do have an online banking app, if you go onto your online banking app, you can go on there, there's a void check or a direct deposit form. You can screenshot it if you don't know how to send it to us and send it to ariel.larock@rrafn.com. Is Ariel here? Ariel, are you here? Okay, so just so you know, if you guys have any questions, just come by the office. You know, we're always there. Well, I'm always there. Just kidding. Yeah, we have to for the online.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, just a little more clarity on that distribution. There's been a couple of questions from the membership, more geared to the minors. Okay. Now, I just want to be clear. On Thursday, we're just doing the elders, not the there you go, yeah. So those are the ones we'll be doing, the adults. Now, the minors, it's going to have to wait a little bit yet, because we're still in talks with our lawyers on that. We want to make sure that they're protected, that everyone is protected. So we're still in some, like I said, we're still in some discussion with our lawyers, and we're going to fine tune how we're going to do that. But on Thursday, it's just the adults, the eligible adults, tribal membership, okay? Want to make sure that that's clear, okay? Is there any questions, any other questions on that?
If you have any questions, you got to come up here because we want the live people that are watching at home to see. Everybody stare at Janice.
No, I was going to say, is there going to be a bus to pick up people that can't make it down on that day?
She asked if there's going to be a bus from Winnipeg to here to pick up your check. Yes.
So part of that is that we're going to utilize the big bus. We're also probably going to look at getting another couple buses to keep running things back and forth. In the community, we just had to get the smaller 32-passenger bus kind of re-upped and did some mechanic work on it. So that's ready to go. Hopefully we can use that in the community to help transport people to the gaming center if they need and back to their houses, those kind of things. So we're going to shuttle people within the community, but we're going to have some buses going back and forth. Probably the same point, I'm guessing, would be the sub-office for pickup and drop-off and those kind of things. Hi, Norman.
My daughter's not registered yet, and I was wondering if there's any way I can get that happen.
That'll be up for the lawyers and stuff that are the ones that are registration, the kids that aren't registered yet.
Okay, there's another question. Norman asked, my kids are not registered yet, or your daughter, and they're not registered. Well, we're going by the 2025 ban list right now. So I would suggest you guys register your children now. Don't wait. Do it now. Okay. Also, I just wanted to say a few words before Housing speaks. In 2011, we actually came here and picked up our $5,000 check. Does everybody remember that? In 2011. So when we went and picked up our $5,000 check, we signed a document to pick up our check. And that's for anybody born after 2011 will not get the $5,000. Remember that. Anybody born before 2011, when they turn 18, they can come to our office or come to the band and pick up their check, okay? We heard the people, so many years, we've heard the people ask that question. When the children that our grandchildren, a lot of our grandchildren were born after 2011, they will not get that. But we heard you guys so many years saying, well, what about my grandchildren? What about my little babies here? Well, that's why we're giving the $5,000 out now, because we heard you. And so every band member will get the $5,000 when they turn 18, the children. Okay? Miigwech. Okay, Miss Linda LaRock from Housing. Round of applause for Miss LaRock. Want to stand right here? Yeah, you got to hold. Yeah, I know.
Good afternoon, Roseau River tribal members. I had such short notice to put something together to for the community. So I did a brief summary information on housing. And part of it all combines past, current, and future. I wanted to share this with the community, but because we don't have the equipment right now for the screens, so I'm going to just brief you in on a little bit of what's been going on with housing. And before I start, I just like to say that, you know, I'm not going to stand here and say that housing is perfect, because it's not. There's a demand in need of renovations, whether it's minor, extreme, or major. There's so unlimited funding that the band receives from the Department of Indian Affairs. Out of 230 houses, we only receive revenue for nine of those homes, and the rest of those houses are band-owned, meaning a lot of us, we have to be together as homeowners. We have to take care of our own houses. You know, the funding that the department provides Roseau River First Nation is limited, because the announcements that they make, federal government, with the First Nation people, they have to share $93 million out of 65 First Nations in Manitoba. So that is based on membership, the need of each reserve here in Manitoba. So in this, so with the funding that comes in, you know, it has to take care of 200 houses. And we can only do so much with a little amount of funding that we receive from the department. And us as homeowners, we have to learn too. We have to learn to take care of our houses. You know, that's the big part that, you know, as a community, as homeowners, we have to step forward too and take care of our house. And I know there's many people here that do that, you know, and it gives me pride to see homeowners that take care of their houses. You know, it makes me feel happy. But anyways, you know, there's a lot of renovations that need to be done. And with the little bit of funding that we get, you know, we have to spread the funding around, meaning how many doors should we get? How many windows should we purchase? Who's in extreme need? You know, these all have to be identified. I know there's a lot of questions out there. I have questions too, I ask myself. I ask those same questions to myself as a manager. What shall I do? How can I get more money into the band? How can I fix up your house more? You know, there's all these questions that we brainstorm. But anyways, I'd like to at least provide a little summary as to, since I've been there 1 year and 6 months working for housing. In Roseau and Rapids, north and south, in 2023 we had a total of 199 houses. We did new construction in 23, 24. I was just coming into housing at the time when those units were being constructed. There were 5 houses, and these 5 houses were to replace 5 trailer homes that were condemned. In 24, 25, new construction began again. There we go, we were able to build 9 houses. This year, 25, 26, our funding has increased. I'll let you know, I'll talk about how that funding increased. But right now, current construction today, we have 16 houses coming up that are being built right now. Completion date for those is March 31st, 2026. We have a total, during that 2023 to current, we've built 30 houses in total, bringing it up to 229 houses in total for Roseau River, Rapids, and North. And we have a waiting list of 175 people. A majority of them are single people, individuals that require housing. We have family waiting list of 2 dependents, 3 dependents, 4 dependents, and more. When we talk about the funding in regards to the Department of Indian Affairs, they're known as ISK. A lot of you know they're ISK, the abbreviation. ISK provides funding through funding agreements with First Nations throughout Manitoba. There are different types of funding that flow through these agreements. These agreements are signed with leadership in every First Nation. Some of the funding items that they fund, there's housing immediate needs. This is a 2-year multi-proposal kit that's for every First Nation in Manitoba. So they put a toolkit together, they call it, but in there they identify the amount of houses that's needed based on the funding that they release. And this is done on a 2-year formula with the department. Then we have renovations and additions included aside from that new construction. There they only provide $55,000 per renovation project. That's the funding formula throughout the First Nations with the department. So we're in the, they call us the Zone 1 and 2 area, where we're more, we're not as isolated as the North. The North get more funding than the South. So renovations, the formula for there is they per cap $55,000 per unit, and it all depends how many submissions we submit. They do have a limited distribution that they send, that they have to allocate to 65 First Nations in Manitoba. Then we have the operations and management funding. That's a new funding that's kicked in about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. That's to operate and manage the administration part of housing. Okay. So with that, there's a lot of stuff for housing. I had a PowerPoint slide here. I'm going to have it printed out by tomorrow. Any of you that wish to obtain a copy, feel free to pick up a copy. And I've also included in this PowerPoint presentation a sneak peek of the upcoming construction for 2026. So I've added, I don't know if you could see it from here. So we kind of looked at some designs and trying to look at different styles for 2026. So, but I'm glad, I'm happy to be, providing this information. It's public information, and it's there. Yes, we do. Who did you speak to? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Yes, I understand that. Thank you. Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up, eh? Yeah, okay. Well, this PowerPoint presentation is going to be available. Okay. Thank you.
If you guys got any more questions, please approach housing on the side. We'll open it. We just kind of want to keep things moving around. So I think, Chief and Council, do you have any kind of closing remarks for the membership? Also, one thing, sorry, it is kind of getting loud in here, you guys. It's hard to be heard up here. We do have some draws for everybody to kind of take advantage of. There is a $50 honorarium for the adults only that'll be issued in the table in the room next door. Just to clarify, the $50 is for the adults only above 18. I'm sorry, you guys. Nicholas? Shh. Guys, yeah, sorry, it's hard to hear. I'm sorry, it's really hard to hear with the echo. Going to have Chief and Council kind of come up and close off some things. Keep your ticket available. We have 5 draws for 100 and then 2 draws of 1,000 each. So you might want to stay in the room for that. And if Chief and Council wants to come up and do some closing remarks, that would be great to address the membership. Before you guys leave, because we know the bus has to start getting going soon.
I hope that the information that we've provided to the membership here today, people take that information and helps you to begin to understand how where things are at and how things work here in the community. They were just talking about the housing here, and I think there's been some big strides made in housing in the last year and a half. So continue. There's always room for improvement, So, but within that context, I want to say chimney rich for the people that have come out today to travel membership. I see a lot of young people here, and that's really nice to see, because you're the future leadership here in the community. So really appreciate that you come out and participate in the discussion, and do likewise with your community. Get involved with your community. Hey, Rich, there's someone here?
come on up.
Be very, very quick. Just want to let you know that we've been meeting with Native Americans in the stateside, and there were about 2,500 delegates to the last meeting that we went to with the Native Americans. And they have come up here. A lady named Smith. She's out of near Chicago. She's Potawatomi. And she said, she looked at our housing and she looked at our VLTs and said, holy, you guys are like, you're about 25 years ago, that's the way we were, that we were poor. Well, Native American casinos, there's over 500 of them, and they make, their revenue is $44 billion a year. That's what the Native American gaming is. And they've said to us, we want to help you. And she came here and said, let's get something done. You know, you guys need some help. We're going to put some money in here. So that's one of the things that we're talking to her. We're going to go see her probably in January near Chicago. And we're looking towards about closer to $50 million that the Native Americans want to invest in Roseau. And it's down and it's not quite there yet, but we are working on some things. And there are Native Americans. She did come here, and so did Larry Wright, who is also in charge of a lot of the Native American tribes over there. And one of the things I wanted to let you know, why they're interested in here is because Donald Trump said he wanted to get pharmaceuticals purchased from Canada. Well, there's no place for them to purchase those pharmaceuticals. So what pharmaceuticals, if you don't know, the Americans, there's 330 million Americans. They purchase $4.7 trillion worth in health care. Of that, 633 billion a year is on pharmaceuticals. And we talked to the Native Americans, and they said, well, can we manufacture pharmaceuticals in United States, in Canada, so that we can import them into the United States? I said, yeah, let's work together. So that's what they're trying to do. They want to manufacture pharmaceuticals here. And even if we are only able to access $20 billion worth of their market, it's $20 billion. And the net profit on that is $3 billion US. So that's what we're working on with Native Americans. They're coming up here, they're looking at us, and they're saying, how can we make a deal? How can we sit together and work with you? That's why they want to invest in with us. So we're working on it. We're heading into Chicago probably by January, middle of January. So anyway, I'm just letting you know we're still working on things, and you may not, it's not here yet, but I want to really, really thank all of you for being here today. You get your $50, but we're going to get you that $5,000 per cap. Promise you that. Hey, what?
So, as you know that me and Terry usually go to Las Vegas. We've been to Florida. We also been to Seattle. We don't go there just to do a trip. We go there to meet the investor. Because if the investor goes like this, we mail this to him and it goes on his desk. But when we go in person and give them a beaded earring or something like a gift, and we meet them in person and we go for lunch with them and we talk with them, they remember this paper when we come to them again to invest for Roseau. So when we invest into businesses for Roseau, it's not owned by me, Terry and Gary and Evan and Jason. It is owned by all of you here. You guys are the beneficiary to every business that is owned by Roseau. And how are we supposed to do per capita payments to you every year? Like the tribes in America, they actually get dividends. If we don't have revenue coming in for Roseau, we can't give dividends, per caps, or royalty payments to you. So when we do those businesses, it's for all of you. Remember that. And if you ever need to ask any questions, please come and see us. Don't listen to those rumors on Facebook. Come and see us yourself, have a coffee, have a tea. You know we like to sit down and tease and joke around, but come and see us in person. Don't listen to the people on Facebook. Come and see us directly because we like seeing you guys when you come there, okay? So that's the reason why we want to do business, is so that we can give per capitas every year to all of you, okay? Miigwech. Ooh, there's some draws here, you guys. Okay, who wants to do some draws?
Okay, we're gonna set up to do the draws for our 5 draws for $100. We have 2 draws for $1,000. For those that have been on the bus, we're asking for those that are on the bus to go to get their 50 first, their $50 honorarium first before leaving. The elders will follow that, and then the remaining membership will go through. The only ones that are receiving the $50 today, as it was clarified to me earlier, will be the adults. The adults will be the only ones that will be receiving that money. But get your ticket out. We got some draws going on for $100. You have to be in the room to win it, so let's get everybody inside. Let's do it. Let's do the first one. First one's being picked. Put your hat. Do you want an announcement about the apartment as well? The ribbon cutting? No? Okay. All right. Perfect. Oh, mix them up good. All right, here we go. Three, 5, 2, 7, 5, 8. 3, 5, 2, 7, 5, 8. Nice. Right, we got a winner. Where's going? She got to pick. You got to pick. You got to pick the next one. And you get a hat. Go see Josie. She's got hats there. Signed autographs. What do we got going on? 3, 5, 2, 6, 6, 3. 3, 5, 2, 6, 6, 3. If you got it, come on up. Come on up. Give a round of applause, round of applause. $100. Can I verify that? And you get the draw. Pick a name, pick a name, pick a name. Auctioneer, pick a name, pick a name, pick a name. Got a name coming in there. Pick it up real fast. Oh, no.
Applause for the winners.
3, 5, 2, 4, 2, 8. 3, 5, 2, 4, 2, 8. Round of applause, round of applause. Yep. Ooh, mix it up good, shake it up good. Mix it around in there. Swish it around. 3, 5, 2, 7, 1, 0. 3, 5, 2, 7, 1, 0. Jamie Alexander, are you here? Can somebody yell for Jamie? On count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody yell Jamie. Jamie! There he is. Boy, why are you guys yelling around here for? I don't know what the heck's going on. And the hat over there. See Josie for a hat too, please. Keep your head warm when you're walking around. The envelope, please. And you got to pick. Round of applause. There's 2 of them there. What are those? Okay. How's the one? Here we go. 352632. 352632. Hey, hey, a round of applause. Come on up, come on up. Come on up, come on up, come on up. Verify your ticket. Nope, we're just getting to them now.
Now here's the $1,000.
The $1,000 draw is up. Before we start, for those that are registered for tomorrow for the Christmas dinner tomorrow, I think the bus is leaving at 1:30 tomorrow, right, Cheryl? The bus is leaving to the RBC. The buses are leaving at 1:30. If you are registered and you have the gas cards that are being issued, please pick those up tomorrow. Yep, pick them up, right? Okay, come pick them up as soon as you can. At the admin, we have, I think just to let you guys know that the Christmas dinner tomorrow is, I think we're at 1,200 people. I think we've maxed out the size of our facility for tomorrow, and that's, the prevention team is actually out preparing the site as we speak. So here we go for $1,000. Do we have the ticket? Oh, ho, ho, get your ticket out. Drum roll, please, guys. 352395. 352395. Give it a few seconds here. Right away. 352395. Going once. Going twice. Francine Thomas? Not here? Not here? Where? She's here. Francine Thomas. Holy, good thing they showed up here. Oh, $1,000. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Oh, yeah. You got to draw the next one. Round of applause. That's awesome. So it's very important that you guys know where someone is. Okay, here we go again. That's the last $1,000 draw. One more. We got it going on here. Who is it? 352718. 352718. And oh my gosh, Teresa Cini, Terry Cini. Round of applause, round of applause. Wow.
Mom, can I borrow some money?
Remember, those who are on the buses first receive your 50 first before the bus goes up. The elders after that, and then everybody else remaining. Is that it, Chief? We're good? Wash day? Drum group, you want to sing us out? You guys want to sing a song and close things out, guys? Sing those people off.
Thank you for everybody coming out. Thank you to everybody that came out.
Thank you to my buddy Rod Arriagada for coming out to stream. He always does a good job. Bewitch.
Wanis Kazini.
All right, so we're just waiting for the conclusion here, and then we're going to be wrapping things up. I'd like to take a second to thank everyone for inviting me to come out to the community to cover this meeting for you guys. And I'm glad I was able to come out. If you're looking for any services in the future for any kind of events, you can message me directly via email, rod_Arriagada_204@yahoo.com. I do all sorts of services, sporting events, concerts, talent shows, treaty days, community meetings, AGMs, AGAs, elections. There's not much that I haven't done in my time as a professional streamer, but let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, and I'll definitely come out and do my best for you. Just waiting for them to kind of clear the way a little bit, get the go ahead for me to be able to shut down, then I'll shut down, just in case if there's any more remarks or anything like that that they're going to do that I'm not aware of. If you have any questions or comments in regards to anything that was covered throughout today in the meeting, you can get a hold of your chief and council on their website, and they have emails there for each one of them, so you can contact them directly through email. The door's always open as well. They've said already a couple of times that if you want to come in and visit them in person, have a tea, sit down, discuss your concerns or your questions that you may have in regards to anything that was discussed today or moving forward, you're more than welcome to come in there and do so. So take advantage of that opportunity. Go in there and display your concern. It's the best way to be heard. And one thing they said is to try to stay away from the people that keep saying things on Facebook, because a lot of that stuff is toxic. A lot of the stuff is not based on facts, and it's more or less hearsay, which just creates more turmoil in the community. By going directly to your leaders to discuss these questions or concerns with them, you're helping the process become more complete, stronger for everyone. So just know that people that are raging on Facebook, they're going to do that no matter what happens, even if everything is peachy clean and perfect. It's just their nature. But people that want to make a difference, those are the ones that are in the office, and they're waiting for you to come in there and discuss whatever it is that you need to discuss with them, so they can help you understand your concerns, so they can give you a little bit of guidance as to what's going on next, or even point you into the future as to what the plans are for the future. Whatever the case, do it the right way. You'll get the right answers. And it looks like they're kind of cleared up. I'm still waiting for the signal for me to shut down, so I'm not going to shut down until they say so. But on that note, thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to those of you that took the time to interact as well. I try to get the questions over to you, to Chief and Council. They're aware of it. They're going to watch the stream, and they're going to see the questions on there. They're going to do their part to get a hold of you if you don't get a hold of them, but it's probably best that you try to get a hold of them. And thank you to everybody once again, for inviting me to come over and being the good people that they've always been every time that I come out. I appreciate the opportunity to be here for you guys and to be able to help deliver some of that information through the streams. And there was a lot of good information being displayed today. Yes, the sound kind of was in and out. We sorted that out. For those of you that are just tuning in right now, if you go back to roughly about 12 o'clock, I think it was, when they started their lunchtime, from there till now, I do a review of everything that was discussed, word per word, on every single page. So there was some pages that were not really addressed in the presentation. With the way I did it, you get every single page and it's read out to you. So you can look at the pamphlet, the information, it's on the screen, but you also get to hear it. So if you're busy, you're doing some cleaning, doing some cooking, or just simply doing something that's keeping you busy, but you still want to hear things, go around the lunchtime, beginning of lunchtime for today, and then you'll get the verbal description of everything that was discussed today. I think we're pretty much clear. I'm going to make sure. Just give me a second here. So I still don't know if I'm shutting down or not. I'm waiting. comes back here, I'll ask him again. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the meeting and you got some answers that you were looking for. As far as the $5,000 thing that a lot of people were asking online, from what I understand, the dates are December 18th, either December 17th and 18th or 18th and 19th. But that's when those payouts are going to come out. And they said something about like if you were born after 2011, you're not eligible. If you're born before 2011, you are. So keep that in mind. You can ask your chief and counsel about it a little bit more in details, and you can see the process to see what it is that you need to do if you need to do anything. All right, all right. So yeah, so I was told that I can go ahead and shut down the stream now, and I'm going to do that because I'm supposed to. But yeah, so moving forward, any questions you got, make sure you address chief and counsel. Send them an email. They have a website. You can find all the information on there. They also open the doors for you guys to go in there and sit down and talk to them. So don't be afraid to do it. If you're looking at these payments for the 17th and 18th or 18th and 19th for the $5,000, make sure you get a hold of them. I've seen a lot of questions about like banking and transferring, wire transferring. All that kind of stuff is the stuff that you want to ask them directly. This is a live stream. So what this is supposed to be able to provide the information to get you in the right direction to be able to accomplish what it is you need to accomplish for yourself and the business matters that you have to address. So that's what this does. But the questions you ask, they're likely not going to get answered directly because, well, for one, the meeting is now over. For two, they have to go back and see the comments and then try to figure out who's who because a lot of people use abbreviations and all that. So instead of making the communication harder between you and chief and counsel and trying to get the questions and concerns that you have addressed through Facebook, message them, email them, go see them in person. You can probably even message this page right now that's streaming this event, and they'll probably get in touch with you and get a hold of a chief or counselor for you to be able to get the answers you're looking for. Right? But remember, it's up to you, right? You can't expect them to come looking for you if they don't understand that you're looking for them, right? So you need to get out there, contact them, do your best part to keep the lines of communication open, and then just understand the process, whatever it is that they're going to explain to you about whatever's going on. I mean, I have no idea what it is you're going to ask, but just understand that everything has a process. They're doing the best they can to answer those questions for you, and they're got the wheels in motion, man. We've seen a lot of that stuff going on with the stuff that I was showing you, the presentation. You can see that they've been getting the wheels in motion for a while now. They're doing a lot of good things for your community and pushing things in the right direction. So give them a chance, work with them. You never know, right? Everything can change. But the people on Facebook that are negative, they're always going to be no matter what. You can give them $1 million tomorrow and they'll still be complaining about the fact that they didn't get to. That's just the way nature is. So just understand it for what it is. Try to just, look out for yourself, right? Don't take the word of other people because they don't know sometimes. A lot of times they're just trying to like throw poison out there because that's the only thing they know. Give people a chance. Your leaders are good leaders. If you talk to them, they'll address the concerns you have. Anyways, that's going to be it for now. I'm still waiting for it to clear up, and it hasn't cleared up. It's still going. So that means that, I might as well just shut down, or I'm going to keep talking about things that I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. We don't want to do that. Don't forget that let's make a fact that right now, before I close the stream, that Facebook algorithm will shut down the stream in 30 days no matter what. So today is the 10th. So that means that January 9th, January 10th, January 11th, around that time, this stream on Facebook will be erased. It'll disappear completely. You're never going to see it again. It's just the way that the Facebook algorithm works. I don't know why they changed it, but they did. However, I did stream it on my personal YouTube channel. So you could always go back there and watch this on my YouTube channel. It's in the link. The link's posted in the comments. I pinned it for you guys. So you can go over there and just subscribe to my channel. And then you'll never lose that footage. It'll always be there. I never erased anything on my YouTube channel. So I only put it on there just in case because I know that Facebook erases it. I don't know. There's people that want to go back and check things out. Maybe there's information they missed, or maybe they just want to review some of the things that I was talking about during the lunch break. Right? Get some real information in there. Whatever the case, that's what that YouTube channel is there for, to help you guys to be able to maintain that information, to be able to use it for as long as you need it. And eventually, if YouTube decides to do what Facebook does, it'll be erased. But until then, I'm not erasing it. So Follow the YouTube link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Everything that I do work-wise is on there. I'm mainly a pool guy. I love pool and snooker and 8-ball and 9-ball and 10-ball. That's my passion. But I do a lot of community events all over Canada and across the states too. So just let me know, anything that you're looking for, I can cover that. And if there's any questions in regards to any of this stuff on the stream, there's ways you can get a hold of me. So just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. All right, that's going to be it for now. And one more time, we'll do this again. If you want me to come on and cover your event, whatever event it may be, you can message me via email, rod_Arriagada_204@yahoo.com. It's the voice of pool of Manitoba, they call me. They call me the Indian CNN in Saskatchewan. Not sure what I'm being called here, though. Everybody calls me a friend, so I'm good with that. All right, we'll see you guys next time around, whenever that may be. It was a pleasure being out here. I hope you guys got the most valuable information that you're looking for. And we're going to go out the same way that we went in with the intro. This concludes our community meeting here at Roseau River Anishinabe First Nation. We were live at the GINEW School Gymnasium, and there was a lot of things that were discussed here. We had acknowledgments, Chief Council opening remarks, the RBC presentation, cows and plows, Baker Tilly, financial auditor, economic development, wind farm presentation, and of course the closing prayer. That was everything that we had today. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. I look forward to the next time I get to come out here and be a part of this important event that you guys have, your community events and anything else. Until then, my name is Rod Arriagada. It was a pleasure. Thank you for everything, guys. Safe travels to those of you that are going on the bus, that came here on the bus, that are going back on the bus. I love that they gave you guys that opportunity to be able to be here through that service. Safe travels on the road. The roads seem to be okay, but you never know. Either way, may the Creator be with you and protect you guys on the road. And to everybody else, may the Creator be in your soul and show you some happiness, because it's a beautiful life out there. You just got to figure it out. I'll see you guys next time around. Have a good day. Cheers.